I'm Fire Lotus, and thank you so much for coming to my page. If you're new here, hi, Fire Lotus. If you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe, if you will. Anyways, before I get into this, because I will be going over some books that some people may just jump to, yeah. For one, it is extremely important to realize that I am a Southern conjurer and Appalachian folk practitioner among multiple different types of other magic. With that, there is a very complex history when it comes to Appalachian folk magic and Southern conjure, specifically revolving around cultural exchange. You have to think of all the people that migrated to the Appalachia area and then all the southern states. I say migrative, I should have used the other term that I don't like using either, but in general, all of these cultures came together and willingly exchanged multiple different techniques, ideas, and uses for herbs, along multiple other things. Um, so yeah, take that in mind before I start reviewing some of these books. Now there are two books that will send people off the deep end. One of them I did want to say I myself did not know until I actually received the book. They were bought off my Amazon wish list. If you did not know I have one, yes I do. I actually have two on my link tree. There's one that is my Amazon wish list, and then there's also one labeled Magical Library. It's all the books that I have on my current shelf. That way you have access to them. But when I got to two chapters in this particular book that I'll be going over, I stopped reading right then and there and reached out to multiple other people that are actually in that practice. I did get a mix of reviews. Um, but yeah, I just wanted y'all to go ahead and take that in mind. And the other book, I specifically wanted it for the actual recipes and to see how they use specific plants and things like that in their practice, which is also shared with Southern Conjure and even a little bit of Appalachian folk magic. And then another one, it's just honestly great to have. It's just a book on hand because it goes over amulets, charms, and talismans. That is used in hoodoo, but also the conjure tradition. So, without other ado, let's get into this. So, the first one is Crossroads of Conjure, the roots and practices of granny magic, hoodoo, brujeria, and there's another word on here that every single time I try to say it, I completely butcher it, so I'm sorry, I'm not even going to try. But here we go. Now, I did want to start off with this person is initiated into some of these practices that they go over. Specifically, I wanted to know a little bit about the conjure aspect in this and the granny magic aspect, which I did. There is one thing I do not like about it. In the Appalachian region that they go over, they specifically only focus on the Scottish and Ireland immigrants, when in reality there was Dutch, German, multiple other ones. So there was that one. But I will state from the Brujeria and the other one that I'm going to butch if I were to try to say, I learned a lot of just the culture itself, but also about a deity that is very well known. But it also gave me a bunch of places to actually start my own individual research with that. Um, all in all, it's a great book. Again, depending on your where you stand with practices and things like that, it may be a red flag to you. It may be controversial, but as a content creator, a mentor, and a teacher, it is kind of my job to not only educate myself, but also give true reviews on books. Would I read it again? Yeah, I kind of would. Again, I'm myself as a palm colored person, am confused on the brujeria aspect because I've heard multiple different things with that, and then also the other one that's very hard to read. But I like the perspective of it. So yeah, there's that one. You could add it to your list, not add it to your list. That's completely up to you. All in all, great read, good read. I learned a lot, and like I said, I have a lot of other places. And like I said, every single time I come across a book or anything like that that could possibly have problematic things, I will try to reach out to a person that is either from that culture and/or that actually is from that practitioner. And actually, one of the people that I reached out to is the author behind, I think it's called American Brujeria, about specifically certain things in this book. And they led me in a better direction. And I encourage you to do the same thing. A lot of practitioners from other cultures they will love you reaching out to a degree. They will love you reaching out though because it's showing you're trying to educate yourself, which is extremely important. And this is also one of the complex things about being a content creator, a mentor, and a teacher in the witchy spiritual world is in order to do research, you do have to read. But I also wanted to state reading a book and doing research is not the same as taking that knowledge and trying to apply it to your own practice. You're educating yourself. Now, I would, if you do try to educate yourself on specific things like that, try to go to its source, as in its original roots, and from a person of that culture. Now, if you were to look up that word right there, you'll understand why I had confusions with that, and I still kind of do, but that's neither here or there. Now, the second book I absolutely love, and it is How to Use Amulets, Charms, and Talismans in the Hoodoo and Conjure Tradition. Now, I did want to state this does not just go over Hoodoo and Conjure. As you can tell, there are multiple different types of symbols. There's pentacles, pentagrams. Also, for the people that are confused about that, because I myself even use it, technically in the wrong term, but this book in general goes over the evil eye. It goes over this particular symbol. I call it the Norse compass just because I have problems pronouncing the original term to it. It goes over hagstones, the hand of power, but with a pentacle and pentagram, because a lot of people don't fully understand that one, because it is kind of confused. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So this right here is a pentagram. A pentagram is a 5-point star. A pentacle is what most people consider a pentagram. So there's that. And yes, we all know people say, oh, that's the satanic thing. Depending on your practice, that right there just means different things, if it's pointed up or if it's pointed down. So there's you some tidbits too. But in general, I love this book. I did kind of wish the pictures inside the book were colored, but it's really, really, it's a great small book to have. It goes over just like a brief little description of it and how it can be used or applied to. There's also a section in the back of this that explains how to activate, how to charm, and how to keep it powered, if you will, when it comes to amulets, charms, and talismans, and also the definition and the difference between amulets, charms, and talismans. All in all, it's a pretty good book. I love it. I would recommend, if you will. Now, the next book. Please don't come at me, okay? Again, Southern Conjure and Southern Conjure, it's very mixed together due to cultural exchange with Hoodoo. Also, there are different variations of Hoodoo, even with its spelling, which ironically, I learned from this book. I did not know that. There is. So, I learned shit from this book that I did not know. But anyways, this right here is Hoodoo Herb and Root Magic, a materia magica of African American conjure traditional formulas given the spiritual uses of natural herbs, roots, materials, and zoological curios. I have not actually fully finished this because it is primarily just kind of, I would say it's like kind of a reference book as well. It does have a lot of recipes in it. Now you're probably asking me, why the fuck would you want this book? Because in Southern Conjure, a lot of the herbs and roots and spices that they use, and even curios that they use, well, we use it in our practice. Another one that's a very hot topic, and please do not cancel me, in Southern Conjure, we use raccoon penis bones, and we also use coyote teeth for divination and bones reading, depending on what part of Appalachia practitioner you are. And the reason that is, sorry about that, the reason that is because if you actually do a lot of research, and you can even actually also ask. Now, the reason I brought up the coyote thing, if you are not on the TikTok app, well, I was going to light this cigarette, but apparently I am not because there we go. Okay, if you are not on TikTok, a huge conversation was started that basically stating that if you are not native, basically animals that are native here to the United States is off to us. This is the reason that's incorrect. And before I go into this, I actually messaged multiple different types of natives, and this is the best example that they gave me. So a native from Georgia, a native from Arizona, and a native from Alaska, they're not all going to have the same meanings and or the same teachings that they have with certain objects. As in, somebody in Alaska may not necessarily even use coyote bones. So, in other words, we have to stop looking at natives as a group and look at it more regional, okay? Okay, with that being said, if you research the complex history of even Appalachian folk magic, because we get a lot of the herbal lore from natives, and or Southern Conjure, you would also know that there's a such thing as cultural exchange, as in at multiple points in times in history, all these different types of cultures and practitioners all came together and willingly traded and exchanged these things that we use, whether that's bones, whether that's roots or herbs or oils or spices. You have to think of all of this. Now, I learned more of this when I interviewed, and I do have a podcast if y'all did not know, slightly on a hiatus on that one, but I interviewed Bloody Mary from New Orleans, and they explained that you have to think of, because a lot of people, they just say voodoo, right? There's different types of voodoo. Even with the spelling, there are different types. Creole voodoo, specifically centered around New Orleans, is considered Creole voodoo. You also have Mississippi River voodoo. But with those particular types, you have to think of a port city. You had people from all across the world, even India. A lot of their spices and incense, how do you think we got them? The Appalachian Mountain Range. You got Dutch, German, Scottish, Ireland, I believe Indian, all different types of people to eventually move there and start sharing some of these practices, okay? So don't come at me. And again, I am one of those practitioners. Getting a book solely just on researching to educate yourself on that specific topic, it's not cultural appropriation because you're not stealing from it. And there's a such thing as cultural appreciation. As long as not everything, but there are certain things just like this, even this, or even this. There are certain things that we can safely apply it to our practice as long as we do the extensive amount of research on how it is properly used, and as long as you are not disrespectful, you're not stereotyping them, you're not making fun of them, and you're not disrespectful to them. Now, I understand, especially in this day and age, not everybody will see it that way, and that is okay. Okay? To be honest, and before I say this, no, I'm not saying this is just a free-for-all grab and no, that's not what I'm saying. But to be realistic and honest, for one, most people, you know how they say, well, a heritage witch, I have witches in my bloodline. If you think about it, we all do, because folk practitioners do not consider themselves witches. They never considered themselves doing witchcraft. It was a way of living. Secondly, if you have multiple generations from the very beginning of this country, there is a 80% to a 90% chance that we are all mutts. There's all different types of things mixed in with our DNA. Okay? Okay. That being said, yeah. So, they're good books to have. Now, I'm also excited, so if you made it to this point of the video, drop a comment on what book you would like me to possibly do a book review on. But I had someone reach out to me, and before I actually name them, I need to make sure that's okay. But I have 3 new books, and I'm super excited about actually all 3 of them. So, if y'all did not know, back in August, I think it was August of this year, maybe in May or April. Anyways, Jake Richards created a book, or Jake Richards has Backwood Witchcraft, Doctoring the Devil, and he also has a Conjure deck. He also just came out with this. Now, this right here is the Osman and Steele's Appalachian Folk Magic Healing. It is a book. It was a popular household instructor. It was a book that was originally made in the 19th century that, thanks to Silver Ravenwolf and Jake Richards, we now have access to. There is a disclaimer that most of these recipes can be extremely toxic if you digest certain things in it. I literally just started it, and so far I'm fucking loving it, and now I have the complete collection of all Jake Richards books that I'm aware of, so thank you for sending me this. The second one is a book that I've not actually heard of yet, which is Connect with the wisdom of the ancestors through tarot, oracle, and magic. Ancestral Grimoire. Create your personal book of shadows. It's by Nancy Henderson, and it's forwarded by Binbel Win. So sorry if I did not pronounce that last name right. Now, you will need like a notebook or some type of journal with this one because it's kind of like a workbook, but it is different techniques to basically not only help you get connected with your ancestors, but actually there's something really cool in it. I'll say that surprise for after I get through reading it, to where you actually create a family grimoire. Now, the next one, same with the other books. I am part of Southern Conjure. I'm a Southern Conjure practitioner, and I'm an Appalachian folk practitioner. So, without further ado, we have this one up here. This is by Star Casa. I hope I said that right. Hoodoo Herbal, folk recipes for conjure and spell work with herbs, houseplants, roots, and oils. I'm extremely excited for all three of these books. I'm trying to show them all on the screen. That way, if you want to add them to your wish list, you can. So far, also, this particular one, it's going to be great for seedlings and sprouts. If you don't know that term, obviously you haven't been following me long enough. We do not use the term baby witch in Lotus Hollow at all. I'm sorry, we don't. You want to tell you why? Because you're not a baby. What you are is a seedling or sprout. We all start somewhere, right? This is great for seedlings and sprouts, and it's also great for, I don't like using the term advanced witches, but lotuses, if you will. So this would be great for no matter where you're at in your journey. This one would also be great. I would highly recommend you get the first two books. Not that they're part of the same collection, but the first book really, really gets you in touch with Appalachia. And the second book, Doctoring the Devil, is also amazing. Everything Jake Richards does is amazing. Yes, you did hear me right. This is forwarded by Silver Ravenwolf. Yes, I know, very controversial. We're not getting into that, but still. I'm excited to fucking dig into these, and as I always do, I will do a book review when I have time. And yeah, I'm super excited. Also, thank you, if you see this, for giving me this opportunity. I definitely have a lot of time to read here soon. But, yeah, that's going to be it for the review. All of those books are extremely easy to follow as well. I also encourage you, if you don't already, get some sticky pads or a highlighter. Yes, I'm one of those people that write in my book and leave little notes. But yeah, thank y'all so much for coming here. Thank you so much for subscribing. Give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down. It's YouTube. Anything is traction to the video. Share this to a group, if you will. Not to a hate group, please. But anyways, I also, if you did not know, and again, if you've made it this far, what is your favorite season and why? Let me know in the comments. But I am still offering the $10 full Oracle sale via email. For the people that do not know, I'm offering a full Oracle reading that is between 1 to 2, possibly 3 questions, depending on the questions. With that being said, they're done via email for only $10. It may take 1 to 2 days for me to actually get back to you on that. Busy schedule. But regarding the questions, I do not go over fertility matters, health matters, or legal matters. I just don't do that. Anything else, almost on the board. The most popular one that I have is if I'm on the right path and or just a general one. And I'm telling you now, you will read a lot. I'm extremely thorough and extremely detailed, so you have a lot to read. I also have the abilities to channel your ancestors and or spirit guides if they see fit to come through. I will know that literally within the 5 seconds of me picking up the deck and naming the person I'm reading, and I will also tell you that as well. Now, if you do get a reading from me and it starts off with, this is a heavy reading, that does not mean good nor bad, that just means there's a lot of emotions behind it. I'm also officially open back up for custom spell work. Now, custom spell work depends on what spell you need and why you need it for. With that being said, I did want to just really throw this out there. There is no ritual or spell for you to just do and become instantly rich. Magic don't work like that. So, I just wanted to say that. But yeah, come email me. It'll be listed below along with my link tree. But email me if you want spell work, type in magical consultation. If you want oracle reading, type in oracle reading as the subject. And or if you don't actually know if you need reading, if you need a reading or even possibly spell work, just totally put that and just type magical consultation. And we'll actually talk and see what you need. Now with that, when it comes to the readings, all I need is your questions. The less details that I have about the situation, the more non-biased that reading will be. And yeah, I work better with not knowing that much at all. With spell work, depending on the spell work, it may take me a few days. I will update you with pictures via email, and then I will also, with your permission, create a TikTok video or YouTube video. I will not tag you in it, or no information will be about it. It'll be anonymous, but it's just a way to show my things. And yes, I'm also offering honey jars. This the most expensive one that you would get, which is about $100, if not more. That's just because of the honey. I have all different types of sizes. Sweetening jar, honey jar, however you, manifestation jar, I'm offering them. I do baneful workings, but it has to be a very specific situation. So yeah, anything else is on the board. Let me know. Like I said, email below. And if you finish this video, give it a thumbs up if you like it, or give it a thumbs down. I really don't care. It's traction. So yeah, also, if at any point in time you want me to make a specific video on a specific subject, if I know enough about it, I totally will. So just drop it in the comments below. And yeah, thank you so much. I hope you like this video. We also have a Discord. Link will be listed below. There is an age restriction. 16 to 17 has one spot. Other than that, you don't really have that much room to move around because it's primarily 18 and older, and that's just some of the subjects that we go over. Other than that, there's no such thing as a dumb question. And if you have a magical question, email me. I will answer it if I can. And if not, I will try to find somebody who can and or give you resources to do your own research and homework. And until then, I hope you're all enjoying this full moon energy and this eclipse. And until then, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.